So why thinking positively doesn't get you the result that you want? Let's get into it. To understand how our being works, how our human body works, you have to understand that we have a mind, we have a body, right? So people think, well, and we've been taught for years, if we think positively, if we think of the things that we want, then, and we stay in that state, then those things will be attracted to us. That is very true. But there's a missing component to that, because it's not just the mind, it's also the body. They need to work congruently. They have to work together. They both have to be on the same page in order to bring what is out there to you. So let's step back here and really kind of think of how you bring things into your life. So if you look at it as your body and mind are like a country, okay? So your body is and everything in it are what makes up the country. You have individual people. They can be the cells in your body. There are different cultures, different ethnicities, there's different regions. They can be described as your appendages, your arms, your legs, right? So all of this gets put together in this one big wrapping, which is your body. And that body is, or country, is then dictated by a government, which let's say is your mind. Your mind is the dictator that says everything that this thing does. That's true, but that is the body itself. The body actually dictates what it wants from the mind. So if the body needs certain things to show up for it, things that, kind of keeping the energetic momentum going into the body or the country, it needs the mind to bring things in, the government, so that economic energy can then be used. The body has its factories. The factories are what produce the goods that the people, the cells, need in order for them to be happy, to operate. Those factories are set in the beginning of the country's founding, when you were first 7 years of your life. In those first 7 years, the factories were built based on the people that were in your life, in your viewpoint. That could have been your mother, your father, your siblings, your grandparents, your teachers. They were the ones who set up the body or this country in which you live. So you took what they did, what they knew, what their beliefs were, and you took them as your own. And that is how these factories have been set up. So people say to me all the time, I keep thinking this way, but everything that I don't want keeps showing up for me. Why is that? Because the factories have been built in your body to deliver the feelings or emotions that you feel on a day-to-day basis. So let's take lack. You have always struggled having enough money, right? And is harder and harder and harder you work to accumulate money, but it seems like the faster you bring it in, the faster it goes out. You never have enough. So why is that? Because in your mind, I'm focusing on the right things. I'm focusing on driving the car that I've always wanted to drive. I'm focusing on having the check go into my bank account, but yet the adverse constantly happens. Things constantly change all the time, that as soon as I feel abundant, suddenly the lack shows up and the car breaks down, or something happens to my house, or I don't have enough money to pay my rent. So why that is because even though your mind is trying to do the right thing and focus on abundance, your body is saying, but that is not who we are. And it says that by the factories that are preset in your body, those factories that were set by the first 7 years in your life. What do those factories do? Those factories produce the energy of lack, the feeling of lack, the emotion of lack. And in order to get this online, we need to get the body online. So The number one key for this, number uno in all of this, is awareness. To understand when you are feeling lack instead of abundance, even when you've been thinking abundantly, the reason you feel that lack is because the chemical factories are producing the chemicals that are getting your body to feel what you have been trained to feel in your first 7 years. So when you understand that, then when those feelings come, now you have an awareness of, wait a minute, I know what this feeling is. This feeling is familiar. So I am not going to focus on the feeling, because that's immediately what we do, right? As soon as the car breaks down, we think, see, this is futile. I try to think positively, I try to think abundantly, and then automatically something comes in that says, nope, we're not abundant. Because we have trained our bodies to believe that we are not abundant. Because we thrive on the hit of the chemical that runs through our body. And why? Because those factories are producing that emotion, that chemical that then gets us to feel lack, even though our mind is saying you're abundant. So awareness is so key here in understanding that your body is a habit. Just like a smoker, just like an alcoholic who is taking a drink or smoking a cigarette, your body is living off of the hit that the chemical factories in it are producing. So when you understand that, when you are aware of that, when that feeling comes of lack, you can sit there and you can say, no, I don't want that feeling. And it's practice over and over and over again. And it's actually learning to starve those factories, because when you start to feel that lack, you need to go to a higher vibrational feeling. So that could be just going for a walk, just going out in nature when you feel that lack coming, because you need to stop it in its tracks, right? Just like when you want to take a drink or you want to light a cigarette, you want to stop that in that moment and even count down. Even if you can delay it, from, even 30 seconds to a minute and count down. No, I'm not going to have this feeling. I'm going to get up. I'm going to exercise. I'm going to do jumping jacks. I'm going to put on a song. I'm going to sing. I'm going to go take a run real quick. I'm going to go walk through the woods, walk on the beach. I'm going to get in the water, take a shower, whatever you need to do to stop that feeling in its tracks. That is how you become abundant, because what you are doing is you are resetting the system. So let's think about this, okay? I want to give you steps in how to do this. First, in your mind, you're going to picture what you want out there, okay? If it's the car, if it's the house, if it's the traveling, if the environment, whatever that is, you need to paint that picture in your mind. Great way to do that, YouTube. Watch point of view videos of skiing, of traveling in France, getting on a catamaran, whatever that is for you. Watch those. Fill your mind with that instead of news, instead of all the other nonsense. Don't do that. Don't do that. Then, once you have a framework in your mind of what you want, now you need to get your body on board. The first thing I'm going to tell you is when your body rejects this thought, it is going to say, but that is not for us. Because your body works on a habit. It has believed for so long that this is the outcome, and the outcome is lack. And I'm going to prove it to you by producing these chemicals so you feel the chemicals of lack. So now, once we're aware that what the body is doing, we can start to reset the body. Now listen, this does not happen in a day. It does not happen in a week. It takes constant changing of the factories. We need to retool these factories from the default operating system to the chosen system, the system that we want, the feelings that we want, the emotions that we want. So that is going to take time, but you are going to win along the way. And you win by being hyper aware that what the mind thinks, the body needs to feel. What the body feels, the mind needs to get on board and believe. So if you can feel abundant And abundance doesn't just come with the numbers on the screen of your bank account. It comes in just getting up in the morning and deciding to feel abundant, deciding to say, wow, I just so grateful for this cup of coffee that I get to drink. It seriously is that simple, because you're telling your body we are abundant. And then what starts to happen is the factories start to produce what you want. So, mind, body, they need to be together. They need to be energetically connected. Meditation for the mind, breath work for the body. Follow me for more.